will not leave this ring without this belt. And if I don't have this belt, I'm not coming out alive. That world title fight, I ended up one of the best combinations you've ever seen in combat sports. I hit him with like this, doom, 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 and I unfolded a head kick, and he just dropped, and he went right out. That moment there, Mark DeBon hits the canvas. I thought I won the world title. 3rd round knockout, and all of a sudden his head pops up, and then he gets up. And then I tried to finish him in the 3rd round, but in the 4th round, he caught me with a scissor knee, and that's what the big concussion was. I dropped, I popped right up, but I was on skates for a round and a half. But if I didn't tell myself that I would die in that ring, I probably would have not made it through that fight. Because I took a beating in that 5th round, and I had to survive it, like the way I was getting hit, but I beat him up so bad in those first 3 rounds that I ended up winning the fight. But I literally had to leave my everything into that fight.
Joseph Valtellini.
Valtellini. Yeah.
That's such a cool last name.
Thank
that
you.
would still, you'd be the ultimate bad guy in a movie. Like they announce that name, you just know you're the fucking bad guy.
Or I'd be the ultimate pasta. You know what I mean? You got your tortellinis, your Valtellinis. Either works. I like the superhero. I'll take that
one.
One
Thing I don't know the answer to this. Where did Bazooka Joe come from?
Started when I was young. I mean, Bazooka, everyone thinks the gum character, but it was really...
I think of the weapon.
See, that's what I thought too, but a lot of people think right away, Bazooka Joe the gum. But it's legit from just being this young kid who was always, everything I threw was with power, everything was aggression. So, I mean, Bazooka worked perfectly. And one of my old coaches was like, hey, Bazooka Joe, and then just stuck from there. And at first, my coach hated it. He's like, no, it doesn't sound good. Sounds like the gum, but it didn't give that mean look. But Valtellini is a hard name. So it's easy for people to say, hey, Bazooka Joe. And it just stuck with me, and it's become the brand.
Nice. Okay, so I don't want to talk about too much about your career. I wanted to talk about the man. I want to know who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do want to acknowledge what you've accomplished.
Okay.
So let's start. First of all, why did you start martial arts?
I started martial arts as a young kid. I would say about 4 years old I started. I'm 40 now, so 36 years of martial arts.
Yes.
I started actually, I would say, with my dad. My dad wasn't a traditional martial artist, but I was obsessed with the Jean-Claude Van Dammes, the Rockies, this anything fight related, the old Kung Fu movies.
Yes.
Me and my dad were watching. So he took me to the local Taekwondo gym, and the gym said, come back at 7. So my dad needed to keep me interested. So we kind of made like a training gym at home. Like our fireplace box had padding to it. The support beam at home I would kick. My dad worked for Toronto Ambulance, so we got like tubing. I was tying tubing to the stairs, and I would practice my kicks and like all that type of stuff. We'd recreate Rocky scenes where I knock them out and my family's cheering around. Nice. So kind of got me into that mindset. 7 years old, started Taekwondo, got my 2nd degree black belt. Dabbled in jiu-jitsu a bit, but it wasn't until I was 19 I found kickboxing, and then I became obsessed with K1, and my coach was coaching Gary Goodridge, Big Daddy at that time.
I know.
So seeing Big Daddy come in with the big gold chains, his Escalades, being so cool, he'd come in and say like, "Oh, look, you look like a young Oscar De La Hoya," and I'd be all hyped up, and you know what I mean. So from there, I was like, you know what, this is my path. Hearing stories of my coaching Gary in Japan and what the life was. And I was like, this is my path. So then I just kept going. But I also was a school teacher. So I was being a school teacher while I was fighting. And then now I'm just all into it. I was actually teaching physical education to special ed kids.
Oh, beautiful, dude.
So I started to fall in love with autistic kids.
Yes.
They're so special. And I was like, I see these regular kids in regular high schools. And then I was working with these autistic kids. I'm like, those regular kids, they don't need someone, that cares and love. It's these autistic kids who need the love, the passion. So for me, I became really passionate about that. Yeah, that's one thing I started loving.
Okay. So how did you transition from just merely studying kickboxing to actually starting to fight?
So I always, with the Taekwondo, I had that little bit of experience competing, and I loved it. And I did great. Like, in my Taekwondo career, there's only like 2 times I could remember ever losing in the sparring division. That's what mattered, right? And the 2 that I lost, I got DQ'd. So I was really good. I never ended up going the national or the provincial route, but with kickboxing, I wanted to go, and I went 11-0 as an amateur, which if you think it's people are like, oh, that's great, but that's not a lot of fights.
No.
I mean, if you talk about these Europeans, they have 100 amateur fights before they even go professional. So it was very minimal because there's no professional kickboxing in Ontario, which is the dumbest thing.
Yes.
Pro MMA, yes. UFC come, but no pro kickboxing.
Yeah.
Try to explain that to people. I can't.
I remember the Twins were trying to get that happening. Twin Dragons way back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's never been allowed.
Crazy to me.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that UFC's here now and we still won't allow kickboxing.
Yes.
It's all that old, writing in the legislation killed kickboxing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But going back to Taekwondo, because I studied Taekwondo for 5 years, and it's predominantly a kicking art.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot of hands to that.
Yeah.
So for you to transition from a kicking art, which beautiful kicks and shit,
yeah,
to kickboxing, which is more, I think, effective kicking. It's not the flamboyant kicks aren't there, like the jumping, hook kicks, and I mean the odd time you'll throw that off. But did you find it difficult transitioning from a kicking art to using your hands?
A little bit. I would say you have to get rid of those snappy kicks at first. And then once you learn it, but I was a football kicker, so I always had a strong leg. Like I can kick. So it came natural to me. But the good thing was there was a black belt when I was doing Taekwondo. I got my black belt young at 10 years old. But at the same time, I was learning boxing a little bit. One of the coaches was like, hey, it's good to do a little boxing. So I went to a local boxing gym once in a while.
Nice.
Just to get my hands working. But to me, still, like if I look at the modern martial artists now, any new kid who started, none of them can throw a spin kick. None of them can throw any of these hook kicks. But they can't throw them because they never learned it from such a young age.
Yes.
So you can tell someone who started from a young age in those traditional martial arts, the flexibility, the dexterity of the legs, I think is something it's harder to learn as the older you get. So I think it's a good base for people to start with if you're in the striking arts. But look at even the UFC, those Michael Venom Pages, the Wonder Boys. If you could move and manage distance, to me, it's, that's everything.
I met Michael Venom Page. He actually fought one of the guys that we were sponsoring some time ago, and Douglas Lima.
Yeah.
And I watched that fight. Those fuckers are so evasive. And Wonder Boy is actually very linear. Like he's very side to side when he fights. I don't know how well he's doing currently, though. Didn't he lose his last fight?
I think he's kind of going down. But he's like 42 or something like that, which is crazy. But that Lima fight was crazy. That was the hard calf kick, right?
Yes.
Boom, and then finished him.
Yes.
Nasty. Lima's nasty, man.
And then they had a rematch, too.
Yeah.
We were actually at that event in...
MVP won the rematch, right? Or was it Lima?
No, Douglas won again, but it wasn't an impressive show by Douglas. And then Venom went to the UFC. I think he smoked. He did amazing on his first fight. In the second fight, I don't know how well he did. But I think like it depends if we're fighting for like a sport or if we're fighting for street. If we're fighting on the street, I'm just going to be kicking you in the thighs, legs, calves, maybe teeps. I love doing that. I love teeps. They're just so disrespectful to somebody, like just hitting them. It's just so disrespectful. But you're not going to be throwing fucking hook kicks. You're not going to be throwing spinning back kicks.
So you would think on the street you would go for the legs? You would kick the legs, you think?
I don't know. Like
that's what I'm always going back. Like, would I use my low kicks now? Or
I don't know.
Or would you just use your wrestling now? You know what I mean? Make it easy on yourself, or
but you still got to cross that bridge, right? Like you still got to cross the distance, right? So maybe you throw a jab and
boom, then go or something,
and then you go. Or maybe you just, I don't know, man. You really fuck somebody up hitting him in the leg with a knife. I've been hit by you in the legs.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant. Yeah. Like you could probably just convince someone this is not a good day to fuck with this guy just by a simple leg kick from you.
And if they're not expecting it, that knee's gonna buckle inside and
man. Then they can't put any weight on the front leg. Then they can't punch. They can't move into you. I've been with the work I'm doing now, I'm throwing a lot of headbutts.
Oh, right? You've seen that Lethway style?
Yeah, it's very, because if you're in close with grappling with somebody, right? If you're maintaining their like you have your underhooks in or overhooks, it's just a simple snap of the head.
Simple, yeah.
You fuck them up. Like you cut them here, they start bleeding into their eyes, or you hit them in the nose, they start bleeding, they can't breathe. It's just, I dig that shit now.
Yeah. The headbutt to me is one of the scariest shots. That's why like, in a street fight, one should never be shoulder square to someone because that headbutt are close him. So you should always stay bladed at least. You know?
Or
like,
I get my head like
at
deep
least,
in
you
here,
know, something.
and then I'll body lock you and I'll take you down. I'll knee to belly you and then see what happens.
I love how we still think about this at our age.
I
always,
do.
man. You got to stay sharp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like going back to your career, do you not miss like the fight?
On every day.
Yes.
But it's weird because a lot of people hate that part of the sport because it's the spot people love to train.
Yes.
But if you don't have that savage mindset or that confidence, that's a big gap. And a lot of fighters are so good in the training room, but they don't have that switch. And like even hearing guys like GSP, he said he loved the training aspect, but he didn't necessarily love the fight. Like, you know, like you can be so confident, but the day before the fight is one of the toughest things mentally that you have to go through.
So one thing that was interesting to me, when I had dinner with a couple of UFC fighters some time ago, and they admitted to me that they are fucking scared.
Of course.
Right. And people don't talk about that because we look at guys like you and we just think you're fucking superheroes, that you're just full of bravado. You never doubt your skills. Mm-hmm. And I think I was so in admiration that they humanized themselves by saying, like, I'm fucking afraid. When I'm walking to the cage, I'm shitting myself.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But actually walking to the cage is less nervous to me personally.
Okay, yeah.
Because in that point, you've already in the zone. At that point, it's too late. So you're kind of just tunnel vision at that point.
Okay.
To me, the worst part is the weight cut. You don't really think of the fight because you're like, I just want to make this weight. I don't care about what's after. I just want to make weight. Then you rehydrate, you're eating, you feel good. It's fight day. You wake up in the morning and you're like, you look at your watch, like they're picking me up in 4 hours. Then it's like, okay, you go eat breakfast, you forget it. Then you sit in your hotel room.
Before a fight?
I would eat. I'd have to, but I wouldn't go crazy, you know, because a lot of times guys, you can't eat. Some people like, you know, I'm too nervous to eat.
I'd be too nervous.
So some people overeat, some people, you just got to eat enough. And then I find small meals, but every few hours eating a little thing instead of that one big meal kind of thing. But it's then when you're done your breakfast, then you're sitting in your hotel room like, oh, I'm going to nap for an hour before they pick us up. That whole time you're laying on your pillow thinking, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? So to me, it's that sitting in the hotel room, waiting to get picked up and then sitting on the bus to go to the venue. But as soon as you wrap my hands, shoo, tunnel vision.
Nice.
But it's that moment you wake up to going on the bus is probably the worst part for me. Yeah.
So what thoughts go through your mind at that point? Do you doubt that you've trained enough? What do you
everything,
think about?
Everything. You start like moving your legs and be like, oh, is my knee sore? Is my back sore? Like, you know, like you start moving your hands. You're like, oh, what happens if I break my hand? And then, oh my God, how many people are going to be there? And it's like being embarrassed on TV and like my family's watching. I was like, what happens if, you know, my family sees me getting knocked out or, you know, it's like those types of things. But then once you're past that, you just don't care. Because a lot of the prep going into that moment is lying to yourself. And I think that's a key thing. You have to lie to yourself to make yourself believe it. Like, you know, I'm not that sore, you know, like this is, you know, it's lying to yourself, I think is a big part of it.
Well, I think that gives you the option, right? Like I think in any, and that I think transcends into anything in life. You know, you can convince yourself that I'm sore, I'm not good enough, I can't apply for that job, I can't ask that chick out, or I got this fucking job, I can handle this fight, I can go ask that chick out, right? So I think your perspective on anything, but to me, that's just so admirable that guys of your caliber, because you reached heights that people can't accomplish, and you can still humanize yourself.
Yeah. And I think to me, this is where like the outliers kind of, I would consider myself an outlier mentally. Because it's like, for me, I never had the experience. I'm fighting guys with 100 professional fights when I had 7 or 8. So it's like, what made me confident there? So it's
what
like,
made you confident? Because you're right.
Yeah.
Like you're fighting guys that are far more experienced than you, and you had the balls to think that you could beat that guy.
Yeah. So I would say it was a couple things. One, growing up in Scarborough gave me that little like tough street mentality where like, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care who you are. I'll fight anybody. Like that gangster mentality a little bit, being crazy that way.
Yeah.
The confidence in my coach. When I first got signed to Glory, they said, okay, I'm going to give you a 2-fight contract. The first fight, don't worry about it. Basically, you're going to lose this first one, and then we'll give you another fight. So they wanted me for Glory 5, and they offered me Paul Daly.
Okay.
Big, strong UFC fighter. It was crazy, and which would have been great.
So when you say you're going to lose this, did they mean?
Well, they didn't say it outright, but them signing me for 2 fights was like, okay, you're going to lose this first one because.
But not they intended you to lose.
Well, they wanted to build the other guy.
No fucking way.
That happens all the time, man. It's more than you think.
You know what?
More than you
I've
think.
talked to a few fighters, and one of my jits coach right now actually told me.
I love his podcast, by the way, that you have him on. Is that your same jits coach, the Venezuelan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's badass.
He is a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I love the podcast. His stories from Venezuela and stuff like that. Crazy.
You're right. When they tell me stories like that, or if you take somebody to the ground and you beat them via grappling, they don't like that.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't want you to win that way.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they actually, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking business, man.
Yeah. So whatever, they wanted me to lose, which was fine. But I looked at my coach and I was like, it ended up not being Paul Daly. It ended up being a kickboxing legend, Murat Durecci, who had, I think, 80 fights to my debut of 7 or 8 in his hometown of Turkey.
Oh, shit.
I went and I flew over, and everyone's just kind of looking at me like, oh, this kid's just going to lose. It's no chance. I had no idea his record. I knew nothing until I was in the ring. And I heard Tim Hughes, the announcer, say it. And they're like, with a record of 69 wins, 58 by knockout. And in the ring, you see me like, woo. Like, I didn't know he was that powerful, But it was basically my coach. I went to him and I said, can I beat him? And he's like, of course you can. That's all. I didn't need to look at tape, didn't do anything. My coach saying I'd beat him was enough for me to go in there full power.
Amazing.
And ended up beating him. And it was funny because there I was like, they're asking me in interviews, like, I was like, I'm going to finish him with low kicks. They're looking at me like, there's no way. They're like, Joe, this guy has 100 professional fights. You barely see anybody getting finished with low kicks. There's no way you're going to do it. I was like, watch. So then I ended up finishing with him. He couldn't walk anymore. And then just from there, things took off.
Was
it was the mindset.
That you beat him?
No, I think they found a star and they needed a star from North America, right? The biggest thing I think lacking in kickboxing is a North American star. I mean, my career ended short because of concussions.
Yeah,
I could have kept going, I didn't want to go through the damage that comes with the sport, but they needed someone. We had a lot of great Canadian fighters. I mean, Simon Marcus, who's now fighting in Unified, Gabriel Varga, Josh Johnsey, Rob Thomas, Matt Embry. We had such great Canadian fighters, but we didn't have the professional league to develop ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when we went over to Glory and we were fighting these big monsters, we were still winning. We all became world champions. But then from there, it's just kind of the North American market just wanted UFC.
Yes.
But in Europe, we're massive. Like our show in December here for Glory, we'll have 20,000 people, no problem. In February, again, we'll probably have another 20, 25,000 people. When Rico was fighting Badr Hari, 30, 40,000 people in Europe. It's crazy. Wow. We're in soccer stadiums in Europe. And here we don't even have fighters anymore that have that dream. What's the point of, making a whole career? Like even me, it sucks. Like I would have loved to have fought in front of 10,000 people at home. Like seeing like the Jasmines now fight at home and the Mike Malots. I'm like, get goosebumps being like, this is what I wanted,
Yeah.
I had to do it elsewhere around the world, but
yes.
It was very sad I couldn't do it at home.
Yeah. I mean, the UFC became popular. Glory was around before UFC, were they not?
The UFC, the original UFCs would have still been on.
Yeah, but I'm talking when UFC became popular. Like in the beginning, the UFC's fucking, I remember the Brawl in Buffalo when they did it. Like we're going way back in time. But no, I get it. Like that's why I think Unified is good because it's giving a venue and it is a high tiered venue and it's giving an avenue for fighters to go into like the bigger shows.
And I don't know if you get it a lot, but I would have to say thank you for that. I mean, the fact that you've been a great ambassador for the MMA community. I don't know if you know that, but
no, I don't know.
I mean, the fact that you're sponsoring the biggest MMA league there, Perfect Sports, all the guys are getting the supplements. You're sponsoring most of the athletes around the community. And I mean, it's a big thing for us. You're giving us the supplements, you're giving us the platform. And I think what you're doing for the community should be praised a lot for it, man.
Are we paying this guy for this
They
kind of plug?
No, but it's true. I mean, who's doing that for us local athletes?
I just dig fighters, dude. Like I've been training since I've been 15 and I just dig fighters. I still have that aggression to fight. I'm still like you and I, that's how we like jibed in the beginning, because we still have that sort of that just like that need to hit something or hit somebody.
Never ends.
Yeah. But you have gone into jits now, correct?
Yes.
Do you prefer hitting someone or submitting somebody?
Oh, hitting.
Still.
I can't love it. And I mean, a lot of like gi jujitsu, I mean, it's a lot of stalemate. You know what I mean? It's a lot of grips, and it's not as easy to submit somebody as people would think, unless you're going with someone really crappy, you know? So it's like with the sparring, at least I get that impact and like, I like that feeling. I like the activity. Like, to me, with jiu-jitsu, I get caught in a lot of things because I like action. You know, I don't want to hold the position.
Okay,
I want to transition.
You're impulsive.
I want to go. I want to finish. I don't want to just sit there and hold you for 5 minutes and consider that a win. I want to submit you.
Yes.
So
to me, the winning is the submission.
I get caught in guillotines all the time because I'm trying to shoot and wrestle, but that's just wanting to have fun. You know.
Yes. That's the one thing I do like about hitting is that, you know, in that moment, there's that one particular, like you hit somebody, you kick them in the leg, you fucking pop. Like I really like just hitting someone with an uppercut when they come in close. Just boom, like
what's been a nice liver shot to someone and seeing them like, you know, hold like their breath.
Yeah, they fucking drop their soul on the floor.
It's
yes,
the best
I
part
did
of it.
But I really have an appreciation for jits now.
But more than the striking aspects now, or it's tough to say?
Because the jits to me is more technical. It's more like a chess game, right? And, but there is just something special about fucking putting your fist into somebody's face.
Oh yeah. But nice rear nakeds and
yes.
What's your submission of choice? What's your favorite?
I like, neck and arm chokes, right?
Okay.
So
probably because of their strength and size.
I like triangles because it's
even the legs, your big legs work with the triangles.
Strangely. Yeah.
You got the technique for it, the angle for it.
Yes. But then there's just knee to bellying somebody. Right. Because again, for me, I don't train for like competitions. I just don't have the interest in that. I train because I want to know that if it goes to the street, if there's an altercation, that I have many ways to beat you.
Yes.
If it goes to the ground, I can beat you there. If we just stay standing up, I can go there. If we're just like grappling with, you know, when I throw you to the ground, like I started studying judo as well.
Yeah. Big.
And, but just simply just putting, you know, knee to belly and then having the opportunity to either just fucking obliterate you.
Yeah. But do you do a lot of jiu-jitsu sometimes with the striking?
I do because I have coaches. I don't train in classes. So yes, I introduce the striking because I think unfortunately when you train in jits to a certain degree and you're just so fixated on that, you do not recognize the fact that you could be getting smashed at this point and your whole jits game goes out the fucking window.
And that was the big thing in jiu-jitsu, right? With the Gracies, one wanted to keep it. I think it was Hickson wanted to keep it.
Yes, Martin would be a guy for you to talk to. He knows that shit in and out.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear more of that stories of how it's separated and which of them went into. Because I read, was it Breathe with Hickson Gracie? I think they talk a little bit about it in how, you know, one wanted the competition, Hoyler and this. I don't know. I get confused.
Yeah, but as I understand it, under the Gracie umbrella, they still acknowledge the fact that you can be getting hit. Like having somebody in your guard is great, but also recognize the fact that all that guy has to do is just drop his elbow on your face. Yeah. Your guard is going to open.
Yeah.
So
even all those leg entanglements now, like you're on my leg and I'm standing up top. Punch you in your face, you know, I can hammer fist you. And so I think it's important to add it a little bit. You know?
I think to show the realistic side. I think it's very important.
That's a big one for me.
But then accordingly, even with striking though, I think you need to acknowledge the fact that you could be taken down very easily.
Yes.
Right.
Course.
And if you have no ground game and someone with a moderate ground game, even just wrestling or judo or jits, and they take you to the ground and you have no ground game, you are fucked.
I almost think the having the traditional study of it, like the sports side, could be a downfall when it comes on the street, because you might be grabbing certain things where it's like, this is for sport, but this guy doesn't know sport and he's just gonna start doing these things.
Or what if the guy does something completely unethical, like he kicks you in the dick, or he bites your face,
or the headbutt? Like, I might be smart, like, oh, we can't headbutt in kickboxing, but he just headbutted me. Now I'm like,
have you ever gotten into a street fight?
When I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the last one I would have been like 23, one of those club drinking nights kind of thing. And then after that, I was like, never again.
Right.
It was one of those kind of moments.
Were you were trained at that time though?
Oh yeah. I was very well trained. I would have been 23. I started martial arts at 4, kickboxing at 9. So I could have done
anything. You were a killer at that point.
Oh yeah.
So what happened?
It was more of one of my buddies ended up getting in an argument with someone, and just people started walking past. And then they started causing fights with my friends. And I was like, get out of here, man. Cops were there. So me and my friend were walking, but these guys decided to go get something. Oh. So as we were walking to our car, one of them had something in his jacket. So we didn't know. And I was like, well, like, run. Because I'm at this point, like, I was calm and relaxed. And so when they were rushing us, I kind of pushed my buddy away because I don't want to both. We didn't know what he had. Right. And then boom, he hit my buddy with a bottle over the head. And then it kind of just went into pandemonium, everybody going. But the one moment that I had with the one guy just was hilarious. He started bouncing like Muhammad Ali on the street. I was like, the heck is he doing? Like, and it was just me and him on the middle of the street. And then
you think you knew who you were?
No, I don't know. At this point here, we're just going. And then he threw the widest open, and I just stepped in with a nice, clean, straight right. And that was it. But other than that, I mean, I didn't like the feeling of it, you know? I like knocking him out. That was the greatest feeling. But the idea of sitting there and then the police coming and so I was like, what am I doing? I'm 23 years old. I'm going to become a teacher very soon. It's like, I can't be doing this stuff. The aftermath felt bad for me after, you know, I was like, yeah, it felt good laying him out. But it just was the after stuff. I was like, I can't do this no more. But I loved it. I got paid to do it after that, basically. But yeah.
Yeah. The problem is nowadays you don't know what somebody has.
That's what I was going to say. Like, do you ever do any knife training now? Yeah. That terrifies me.
Yeah.
The knife fights like scare me a bit.
Yeah. So I studied Cali for like 5-ish years, and that's what we focused on was knife fighting. I fucking loved using a knife.
But like defense with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you were good?
Yes.
Because you have to go 2-on-1 on the knife hand, basically.
Well, I mean, with Cali, you sort of like move the knife out of the way, right? It's but you're always. It depends what you're trying to do with the knife. Like if I have a knife, then I'm gonna carve you like a turkey. Right. But if you have a knife, then I have to fixate, but understand. And they always told us this in the training that you were going to get cut.
Of course.
Right. So we had this blade that had like a marker on it.
Yeah. So you can see
You can see how bad you get fucked up.
Nice.
And it's crazy how much you get cut.
Because ideally you're supposed to block out here, right? Or is that just like an old
myth? I mean, it depends. Like if you have the opportunity to wrap your arms with something, you can do that. But most people don't know how to fight with a knife. They usually stick with that, or they do the little
slashes.
The slashes. But you got to be like you got to make sure you protect your inside of your arms. But generally, when someone is doing, like, I keep my body close when someone has a knife, and I just try and pat it. But as soon as I can like touch you,
go in,
then I can manipulate you enough. Yeah. Right. As soon as I can stop the transition of the blade, then there's the general stop, like tap, and then I'll be touching you, and then I'll break that blade off.
It's like a little Wing Chun style. It's a little bit of the.
Like Cali is very similar to that.
Yeah.
Right. But to me, in all the martial arts I trained in, Cali was the best for using against the knife.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I saw one video with Kenny Florian. I think he's doing a lot of them. And one of them, they were like foreign. And it was basically they pinned, and it was just more like those rapid, like shank style ones that would be hard, you know? Because like you're fighting the hand and there's just, you know, that shanks like prison style stab.
Yeah.
That scares.
I spoke to a guy who was in prison, and he calls it a sewing machine move. Like there's
something. I know what you're trying to say. The pinholes.
Yeah, you know the guy who I'm talking about too.
But that scares me, like seeing all what's going on in the UK with all these knives. And I watch my algorithms, all of that now, and it terrifies me.
It is.
But I mean, at least it keeps me thinking, like, what would I do? And at least in my mind, I'm like,
I do the
'cause it
same.
scares me. Like, what would I do in this scenario? You know?
And now it's not just one-on-one anymore. Now it's
No.
a guy and they'll bring all their fucking pals around you. Now your game's all fucked up.
Yeah. And the other videos I've been seeing is like those fights on the streets. And after, the scariest thing for me, everyone's like, I don't care how tough you are, someone's smart in like a big group brawl. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to stand off to the side and not even engage in anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get punched from the side of the head. And
Or
then
the
you're
back.
out.
Yep.
Yeah. No matter how good I am, no matter what,
on
I
Rear
get hit on
Street.
the side, I'm done.
Yep. Yeah.
So
And
it's like
then
you
you're
almost
fucked.
have to be like, who's part of it, who doesn't, because someone's standing naturally, and then boom, before you know it, you're out.
Yep.
That
And then you're getting
terrifies
foot
me.
fucked.
Yep. 10 guys are kicking
Yep.
you, and like
Yeah.
that to me. So the knife fighting probably scares me more than the gun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because
yeah,
I feel like the
people
gun, you maybe hesitate or like you have but the knife to me is just more savage, you know?
I just don't know how many people can realistically use a knife and be deadly with it. Like, again, you have all the guys that are just doing the stabbing and the slashing, but to be like a surgeon with it. So for me, you know, I would come in and I would cut your neck, and on the way down, I would cut your veins
boom.
here. And then I would come in and I would cut
The
up
side of the leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I would just fucking carve you like a turkey.
Yeah.
But could I actually do that in a real physical altercation? I don't know. I mean, I've trained all my life to do it, but
Yeah.
the reality and the training is often quite different.
Yeah. I saw one guy, I liked the way he didn't use his knife to attack. He used his knife defensively. So he kind of had it in his hand here, but he was moving back.
Yes.
So every time the guy would lunge in, he would step back and try to just like cut the hand as it was coming. I was like, that's kind of maybe a better strategy instead of
you can flip the blade so that it's down, and then you can use it like a hook. Right, so if the guy throws a punch, you could come in and you could hook the hand and then come in
and slice,
and then slice it around the neck when it comes in.
Nasty.
But I think Cali is a beautiful art because anything that they do can extend. You could do stick and knife, you could do eskrima, and even what I have a problem with, and we brought McDojo Life on here. I have a problem when people display shit that would never happen in real life. So if I throw a punch to you, I'm not going to leave it there
and hold
for you to hold it and then manipulate it, right?
Of course.
So there's a lot of things that don't work because no one's going to just do this.
And hold
right?
and wait.
But if somebody throws a strike, you can tap it out of the way, and you can come in and then grab onto the person or just throw a strike like that. That will work.
Yes.
So I think you need to find out what works realistically and what works for you. Like you're a big guy, you're fucking heavy, you're muscular as shit, and you're still flexible. So you developed a fighting system that worked for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But I think that's where a good coach is coming into now, because a lot of people will train only in one aspect based on their style. Like I can't train you the same way I train myself versus everybody else. So I think
you and I would be training very similar though.
Yes, I agree. Because we both have the legs, we both have the hands. You're just southpaw.
Yes.
That's the only difference. But I can go southpaw.
Yes. Yeah. When we fucked around, you went southpaw on me.
Yeah.
So you touched earlier about the concussion. And first of all, much respect for the fact that you took your health into consideration and not your ego.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right? I know, and as I'm sure you know, many fighters that just disregard the future and they want the moment. But to your credit, you also had shit you could fall back on. You became a fighter. You had you have a school. You could have been a teacher. So, you had that to fall back on. But I think it must have been very hard to give up the glory and the status that you achieved and took your health into consideration.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds nice when you say it, but in my mind, it was very like depression and because I know a lot of people, the depression from the concussions are real.
Yes,
a lot of people don't understand that. Like when you get a very bad concussion, depression is a real thing. Like your brain chemistry is totally off.
Yep.
I mean, I went from, so it's like, it's a weird feeling because I never really fully got to enjoy the world title. Because as soon as I won it, I mean, I win, I'm in a press conference right away. And I was like, oh, there's all these lights and cameras and things like that. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't feel good. Like I've had concussions in the past.
Yes.
But in the past, like we didn't 10 years ago, we didn't know what concussions really were. As
No.
stupid as it sounds, like I had a bad concussion in one of my amateur fights. And then I also in university was playing university football and I got hit. So I had 2 back-to-back concussions close to each other when I was 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I was like, I would be training and I would eat a jab and I'd be like, why do I get headaches? We have to think stupidly. Of course, you just had 2 concussions. No wonder your brain's damaged. But
and it's
the back
it
to
culminates too.
Yes.
Right. So the more concussions you get, the easier it is for you to get a concussion, and the worse it is when your subsequent concussions.
Exactly. So they just kept building, not knowing any research about taking time off, all the supplements now and all the different things you can do. We didn't have that information. So that is one of the toughest things. So when you have that, my brain chemistry was totally off. So winning it, going to a press conference, feeling my head go, getting rushed out of a press conference, just to kind of like, once it was done, like too many pictures, cameras,
Flashes
things,
must have bothered you.
Terrible. So then they made like a little dome, got me out, went to the hotel room, stayed in my hotel room. People were waiting to party with me downstairs and I couldn't go. I was staying in my hotel room, left out on a flight home. And then so much pressure in the brain. It was just, I was in a dark room for a couple of weeks.
Shit.
I had to sit in it. Like even back in the day when your phone chargers had like a little light on it.
Yeah.
Dark room, that little light, I was just like, I couldn't even look at it in the room. And from there, like my back ended up going, I guess with the nerves going, I couldn't even walk. So I was like bedridden for a little bit too. My back was killing me. Like even to go up to take a piss was almost one of the hardest things to do.
Right.
I developed insomnia. I wasn't eating. Like there's so many things happened with the concussion. So I had to get out of that. And for the back and all those pains, they were giving me like oxys or perks, one of those big painkillers.
Addiction problem.
So then it wasn't really addiction, but I started hallucinating.
Oh.
Like in the dark room and all these painkillers, I started seeing things in a room. I was like, I was in like a cartoon world. I was getting scared in there that I said, I'm not taking these anymore.
Right.
I had to cut that off. And that's when I started playing with more like CBDs and like those types of things. And that kind of got me out of the depression phase. It got me eating again, sleeping better, but it was real, man. It's a real thing. And just to think of what my family went through, that was the easiest decision to give it up. So I was like, I can't see my mom, my dad, and my sisters just so worried about me. And it's not like it's life-changing money. If you're paying me, 5-10 million, and if I'm getting that Saudi Arabia money, then okay, but a little brain damage might be worth it, But the even these early UFC fighters, you think they're making millions of dollars? Peanuts,
Yeah.
So the damage you take for it, I mean, it's a tough one to make. But so I never really got to enjoy it. I basically had to retire. But what made it easy for me is that I started doing commentary. So I was still doing. Like when I would fight, I'd fight 2 times a year, 3 times a year. But now as a commentator, I'm commentating the highest level kickboxing all over the world.
Yes, dude.
10 times a year. So I'm making 10 paydays rather than 2 or 3 times a year. So it made sense. But again, I got in at the right time and everything.
Well, because you're a fucking good looking guy, dude.
Thank you.
And you're articulate, right? You're not some fucking brain dead idiot, and you present well. So I think you make the perfect host for that. And you have the experience. You've been there. You can actually talk with some sense of intelligence because you know what it's like. We talked earlier about the fear. You talked about, about strategy, about, fight smart. So I think that was a beautiful move for you to do.
Yeah.
Does the traveling bother you like every month?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people they're like, oh, you're going to Holland again. You must be so excited. I was like, been like 40, 50 times in the last 10 years, like how excited am I to go again? Like I've been to the red light district 10 times, to see it. I don't need to go again. I barely even go downtown to see it. I just basically stay at the hotel.
Yes.
And that's the fun part because all the fighters are there. All the coaches are there. So like basically like your best friends in the world are all staying in one hotel. Even if you don't know someone, like you connected through martial arts.
Yes.
So it's just a different feeling to be around your colleagues like that. So to me, that's my favorite part. Just talking to the guys, seeing the guys, sharing knowledge, talking a bit. That's the best part of the fight world. It's just the camaraderie, the groups, the friends,
I dig fighters because I think that there's a sense of honor. I mean, there's obviously assholes in whatever, job that you deal with, but I just like the work ethic that you have to go through, the discipline, that's all shared, right? And there's a certain mindset that all fighters share, and it's very easy to rapport with someone when you've already had that pre-established.
Yes. Yeah. And even if you don't know them, we do know each other in a way, right?
Right. We both know what it's like to get a gut shot and drop to the ground and wonder if you're going to shit your pants.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody knows getting clocked in the head and that those stars in your head and just hoping it clears up before you take another shot. Like those are shared experiences that people, unless they train like that, they don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's also a hard part for me too, because everybody's my friend at the end of the day, you know, like both fighters. So now I'm commentating two friends as one of my friends just knocked out the other friend.
Yes.
And I have to be excited for one friend who just knocked out the other friend.
Yes.
But in my mind, I'm like, man, I know what it feels like to be the person who got knocked down. So it's like, I feel for both in those moments. So sometimes it's like, I'm like, oh, what a fantastic knockout of the year. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but poor so-and-so, let's hope he feels better. Like, so it's a tough thing sometimes. But hey, that's part of the goods and the bad of the sport. And I guess that's why the big risks and big rewards. And that's why we love it.
I don't think the money is there for the fighters.
No, definitely not even close.
Yes.
Not even close.
When you take a look at what, boxers are making, and then you take a comparison to what UFC, even just fighters in general, no matter what the organization is, they don't make but a fraction. That's why I think, fights like, Jake Paul, and I've discussed this many times on the show, while I don't like the fact that they've made it more entertainment and they've taken away the integrity of a martial art, I do appreciate the fact that there are fighters making huge fucking money now.
Yeah. So you like the Jake Paul fights, or you dislike them?
I think he's made a mockery of the art personally, but I can appreciate his marketing savvy, fucking brilliant, right? He's taken the role of the bad guy. He doesn't care that he's abrasive. I think he's picking his fights. I think that those fights are rigged to a certain degree.
The Mike Tyson one, you would have thought? That's the one that gets me, right? It's
yeah,
more
after that, I
mutual.
don't watch it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You won't watch this Anthony Joshua one, or?
No, because I just either think it's going to be a draw or he's going to win.
Really?
Right?
Even over at Anthony Joshua, or just the way it's set up, I can see.
I just think the way it's set up. I think
see that
with Tyson, everyone's like, his age, he still though, man, like when I fight at, back in the day, like I haven't boxed in a couple of years at this club at Ryan's,
RG's.
And, I'm older than him, but that motherfucker smokes me no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And the experience and his legs are all fucked up.
Oh,
his knees are
double knee braces, and he's still yelling
that guy
at
beats
you.
me like a drum with no problem. He could beat me worse than he does.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And I fucking love that guy. And that's why I think, regardless of Tyson's age, I think the experience that he has, I think he should have been. And maybe it's because I'm fucking old, and maybe because I think the old guy still needs to win. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't, in the beginning, I would have said it was like such a bad thing for the sport. But I mean, the way he's training, the way he's putting the work in, he's a boxer now in my mind. You know what I mean?
That's the other thing I appreciate.
He is a boxer.
He is
now.
putting in the work ethic.
Yes, he is training like a real fighter.
Yes.
The only thing he didn't do is put the time in like everybody else to climb and to get those big fights. But I mean, to beat, knockout Woodley, the Ben Askren one, you're like, okay, it's Ben Askren. But the Woodley, the Silvas, the Tysons,
But he hasn't
Diaz's,
fought a real boxer yet. He's fighting Diaz again.
He fought Chavez, didn't he? Chavez Jr.?
There's one boxer he fought and he lost.
Tommy Fury.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. But I mean, no, I get what you're saying. But do you think it's good for the sport that he's bringing more light to boxing?
So this is what RG said. He thinks it's good that people are getting the attention for boxing, but what he doesn't like is people are coming in and just thinking they're going to be boxing influencers without putting in the work.
Yes, I see that. Yeah.
Right? They're more focused on the likes and the putting in the shit on social media than actually putting the time in.
Yes. Yeah.
But to Jake Paul's credit, he is putting in let's be honest. I still think he drops his hand too much.
Oh, big time.
But he is putting the work that we can see on video when he's promoting himself. We see what he's doing.
Yeah. But to have that confidence, something crazy. I mean,
Well,
that
when
mindset.
listen, if you and I are going to go fight after this, and I know in advance I'm going to whoop your
Oh,
ass,
there you go.
I'm going to be
Okay.
confident as
That's
fuck
funny.
too.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I feel you on it. I feel you. I mean, like I said, but I also heard back to the pay of boxing. I don't know how pay in boxing is, but apparently only the one or two guys at the top fights are making the money. If you look like at a whole boxing card and you add up the outside of the main fight, apparently UFC would pay their fighters better than some of these undercard boxing guys. That's what they're saying. I just don't know the numbers to confirm or deny, but
does Glory pay well?
No, not much. I mean, it's not good enough to make life-changing money, you know?
Right.
That's the big issue.
So would you say most of these fighters have to have other jobs?
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're one of the main guys now, but I mean, like what's good money these days? I mean,
fair enough.
Even if you living in Canada making $100,000 a year, you can't even buy a house. You can't even do anything with $100,000 a year.
No.
So I mean, even if you made $30,000, $50,000 a fight and you fight twice a year, $100,000, get your taxes, pay your coaches. Like most fighters, I would say, give up 20 to 30% of their purse to coaches, to managers, plus the taxes. Like you live in Canada, you're paying 30% taxes, 30% to your coaches. Yeah.
I pay 54% tax. I make fucking 46% on a dollar. So every dollar I make 46 cents.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's criminal. So I mean, like to put your body, your life, your risk on the line. And then once you deduct all those things, it's like what's left. It's not easy. You know, like an entry level UFC fighter is making $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win.
Yes.
So if you even like win all three of your fights that year, what'd you make? 65 grand, not, you know?
Yeah.
And you've got 3 fights, 8-week camps each.
Yeah.
The investment in your training partners, your nutrition, your good food.
Do you pay for training partners?
I never did, but some people do in the bigger senses. Like if you're fighting someone, they might fly someone with a similar style and those types of things. But a lot of that still happens. Like the TriStar guys do that a lot and those types of things. But yeah, it's scary it's a sad reality sometimes. Like that's why you have to really love the sport, you know, like back in the days, there's even less money. So we really did it for my first pro fight. I made $400 and I had to pay for my own fight license plus my corner license. My fight license was say $100.
Yeah.
My 2 corner license were $50 each.
Yeah.
So of my 400, 200 went to paying for my licenses. And then my corners need to eat while we're on traveling. So I think pretty sure they only flew me and one coach. So I had to pay for my other coach's flight, and we probably need another hotel room. So I lost money. You know, you lose money in the beginning part of your career.
Yeah, but I think you do that in the hopes of the bigger picture.
Yes.
But how many people
make that bigger picture is the question, right? So it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, So let's scroll back to post-concussion.
Yeah.
What'd you do after that?
Post-concussion was just getting my body back. It took me a little bit while. Like once I got out of the dark room, started eating again, and then it was slowly bringing back the training. Like it started with 5 minutes on a bike. And I'd be like, oh, like I felt it. Then it went to 10 minutes and then 20 minutes. And then I started lightweight training. And then I built myself all the way back to now where I'm bigger, stronger than I was before. So, yeah, but it's definitely something that really impacts life. And I think as a coach now, this is my goal, to keep these kids in the sport as long as they can without the damage. Like a lot of us lost brain cells in the sparring, in the training.
Yes.
So not, at least saving it for the moments and those types of things is what I'm trying to do, and create a system where these guys can get better without needing 100 professional fights. You know, if you can get good and try to, get to where you go in half the amount of fights, that's less damage on the body, less on the brain. So that's my goal now, is try to keep these young kids. Like all these young kids now are training at 15, 16, at the time they're 23 years old. How many brain shots they've taken? It's crazy. It's scary.
What's your opinion on hard sparring?
I'm still, every month my mind changes. I mean, I've spoken to the biggest kickboxing coach in the world. His name's Big Mike from Holland. He's trained Badr Hari, Gokhan Saki. Now he has all the biggest names in kickboxing. Antonio Plaza, Chico Quaz. He's got all the biggest kickboxing names over the years. He had Melvin Manhoff, everybody. He says to me, you guys in North America are too soft. You worry about the concussions too much. So they're almost where we were 10, 15 years ago, where it's like, oh, they're not a thing. But I was like, Mike, I was like, look at these young kids. Look what happened with me. Look what them. They're like, it's a real thing. But he goes, you guys overthink about it. So in some mindsets, they hard spar maybe 2 times a week, like full out.
Wow.
Now for me, it's like, I can't do that with some of these kids. I don't know if it's a different environment, a different type of mindset, but I'm seeing these kids getting, what happened to you? I was like, I got rocked in sparring. I was like, well, you got to take a couple weeks off now. I'm not letting you come back into sparring now. So it's like, I'm having to keep them away. I'm managing those types of things. So just, that's one of my main goals, but it's one of the toughest.
Yes.
It's hard. It's scary.
Yes.
Scary stuff.
Because plug your school.
Yeah. Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. We're in Scarborough. We have kickboxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi. We got everything. So Bazooka Kickboxing in Scarborough.
There we go, brother.
For that.
But out of all your students, how many of, like, you have some pros in there?
Yes.
But how many of all your students want to be professional fighters?
I mean, a lot of the young ones have the ambition, and then once they start climbing up, they're like, maybe it's not for me. But
fair.
I was going to say, of them who really want to make a life out of it, I would say 15 or 20 of them.
Okay, so out of those 20, how many of them think they can make a living out of fighting?
I would think. I'm also a coach where I force them to work. Like I have she's going to be on the unified card. She's going to make her pro debut. She's going to be the next Jasmine.
February? Really?
Yeah, she's going to be the next Jasmine. Like Jasmine spars with her. I've heard their team have said my girl Isabella is one of the toughest training partners for Jasmine. And she's only 23 now, 22, 23. Young, So in a couple years, we're going to work with Unified to kind of build her up before we send her to the UFC.
Nice.
So something like that. She's young. She's in it, but protecting her along the way is one of the toughest things. So, I mean, building the right fights, the right time. But I made her, Isabella Filipazzo.
Nice.
So in February, write it down.
She's going to be in the Vancouver show?
She'll be fighting in the Unified in February.
Nice.
But with her, it's like, I'm not sending you pro until you're done school. So I made sure she was done school so she can focus on things, keep her brain good. And now that she's finished school, we're going all in. But I just still want her to have that, that step back if something were to happen. I mean, we're not anticipating for it. We never do. But when she's done, she still has that education. She can kind of go from there. She needs that. Everybody needs that.
Yes.
But I'm also training her where when she's done, I hope she's a gym owner. She runs my kids program at the gym. So she should be a good gym owner, trainer. So she has those options. So I'm trying to teach them the sport and all the other things you can do around the sport as well.
Well, I think that's what makes you such a good coach, manager, because I believe that when you're going for a goal, there is no fallback plan. There's no plan B.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you're being a fighter, going for that goal should also entail what you're going to do when you stop fighting, or if you're forced to stop fighting. That to me is not a plan B. That is an ultimate game plan. Right? Okay, so I'm going to win, and then I'm going to get to a certain level. I'm going to open a club, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Because the harsh reality is you don't know how you're going to react to a hard shot or concussions or concurrent concussions. You're taking a bad leg shot to the knee. Your knee's all fucked up. Now that's going to take you out of the game for a while. How are you going to recover there? Are you going to be able to go back and fight as you used to? You need to be aware of what else there is for you to do.
Even with the MMA and the grappling, the whole UFC style, it's like one bad shot, your neck, herniated disc in your neck, and then what? And then your whole career you need, how many of these UFC guys need, vertebrae fusions and all those things. To me, it's one ACL, one bad takedown in training. That could be anything.
In jits, dude, like there's, in the beginning, you're gonna roll with some white belts. They're fucking spazzy. They may be athletic and strong, and either they're just gonna torque you the wrong way, or they're gonna just
a stupid takedown that's drag you.
Yeah, and that's it. You're fucked.
I feel like in jiu-jitsu, you get more injured than in kickboxing. Like
I
more
think,
bruising versus probably ligament damage, right?
yes, yeah, sure, man.
I mean,
Americanas, Kimuras, guillotines are not bad. You're just gonna, you're gonna have a sore neck, but takedowns for sure. Single legs, fuck your ACL up.
like what's the worst you're gonna get in striking? A bruise on the leg, maybe a concussion, obviously, but with controlled, you shouldn't be getting that banged up. And
yeah, I think if I get hit with 50%, I'm aware that something's wrong in my game. And had you done 100%, I would have had a bad day. But you taught me the lesson with the 50%.
yes,
But the leg kicks, you can fuck your legs up. Like that's how I tore my MCL the last time.
really,
Yeah, I was sparring, and then I think I was doing a right leg kick low, and I didn't spin enough. Like I didn't spin on my,
oh, you
my
didn't
toes.
pivot enough.
I didn't pivot enough. So I fucked up a little bit from there. And then from there, I was doing judo, fucked it up a little bit more. And then I have a gas powered surfboard, right? And that fucker goes 50 miles an hour.
That's funny.
And you're torqued in, like you're locked in.
in.
That's right. So I fell, and my leg was like, okay, you need to learn a lesson. And then I tore it. It's a slight tear.
So it's the MCL, right? So
Yep.
inside of the knee.
Yeah. And then I tore my ACL, and I tore a bit of the hamstring.
So I get the MCL on my right kick a lot, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you go to the calf kick, you almost kick like a side kick. And then when you hit, the inside of your knee buckles in. So I've sprained my MCL a lot with that, throwing calf kicks.
So you and I talk a lot about peptides. Did you do peptides to fix
No,
it?
I've always wanted to learn more about it.
Really?
Today was part of my going to ask you about peptides for injuries and stuff, because I don't know
Brother.
anything about them.
Fuck, man.
I remember years ago we talked about it.
Yeah.
And then I just never needed it that bad, until the point now it's like, I need to learn about this kind of stuff.
buddy. A BPC 157 and TB 500. I'll hook you up with a place to get it. 100%. At least start with that.
To try that. Yeah.
Yes. So you take the BPC, the injection, you stick it right where the
Right where the
injury
knee.
is. Grab some fat, stick it in there. TB 500 and they're both sub Q, right? In the midsection.
What's the other one? The TP. What's that
So
one
there's
for?
TB 500.
TB
Again,
500.
so they call it the Wolverine stack.
Okay.
So it helps rejuvenate because ligaments and tendons don't get a lot of blood flow, right?
Yes.
So what that does is it helps increase blood flow to the area. It helps improve the tissue and ligament strength. At the very least, start with that.
Because I know a lot of people were saying there's some good research, middle research, but anyone I know who's done it speaks so highly of it.
100%. For sure, do the TB 500 and the BPC 157. And then you could start going, like I take 7 peptides right now.
7.
Yes. And then
And each of them you have to inject daily kind of thing?
yes. Yeah. I'm a Swiss cheese dude. So, I do my, I microdose my test every day.
Okay.
And I've spoken on this show about, for me, weekly test doses don't work because my hormones fluctuate too much.
Okay.
So I do a microdose every day. My hormones, I just got tested in Cabo, which we'll talk about. And my hormone levels are perfect. So I take the TB 500, the BPC 157. I take my test every day. Before I go to bed, I either take GH or tesamorelin.
Okay.
I take CJC, ipamorelin stack. I take that in the morning. I'm introducing GHK next week. And then there's a new one I just heard about today called SLUPP 330. And that's supposed to help oxidize fat stores. Right? Peptides are like the future, man.
That's what everybody's saying.
Yes. And then you can go into more advanced shit. So I just got back from Cabo and I went there and I did a round of stem cells. And then I did gene therapy. So I did a follistatin shot and a Clotho shot. Clotho might be something you're interested in.
Explain that for me.
So what Clotho does is it helps prevent the degeneration of
like the meniscus and
of your brain, dude.
The brain,
right? So you'll notice
Double dose
improved memory. So it's funny because I think last week my fiance was like, "Would you we were talking about some bullshit," and she's like, "Do you nobody remembers their home phone number when they were a kid?" And I'm like, 248-4791, and it just came to me. So I just started noticing small little inputs of old memories come back.
Really?
Right. So what the Clotho does is that, and I'll hook you up with the clinic down there that does this, is that it helps improve the integrity of your brain.
Okay.
It helps redevelop the sheath around your brain.
Yeah.
It helps increase your cognitive function. It prevents the degeneration of cognitive function. So they use it to prevent Alzheimer's
the dementia
and anything
stuff.
yes, exactly. So yeah, cloth, like we live in such an opportune time when there's so many things available to us to help improve our health.
Yeah.
So, but for you, the peptides, I'll set you up with the TB500, the BPC.
And is it easy to get in Canada? Is it one of those things, or is it one of those?
The problem
we'll talk
is
after.
there's everybody that, like the BPC that's regulated by Health Canada, they only allow the capsule, and that's good for gut health, right?
Okay.
And as you know, a healthy gut, like that helps everything in your body.
The mind, especially. Yes.
100. But the injection, I'll hook you up with the pharmacy that can get it, and it's legit, and for sure that'll help.
Oh,
yeah.
Like even the little things like just my diet already has helped significantly. When I'm eating unhealthy, the inflammation from your food is real, obviously.
It is real.
Most people know, but like if I'm eating crappy, as soon as I cut sugar, everything out, walking downstairs, I'm like, ooh, I can walk a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know,
You cut out sugar?
I cut out sugar.
Oh, I can't do that.
I know it's hard.
Fuck.
It's tough.
So you're fucking Italian, dude. What's your diet?
Right now, it's not. I'll still eat my carbs and protein. My main goal is just to get my protein goals of the day. So again, I'll eat my pastas, I'll eat my rices, I eat my potatoes. I have to eat it, but it's just removing the extra sugars and the stuff in between that's been helping a lot.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'll take it, whatever it is. But at 40 years old now, it's like it's no longer. And honestly, it hits. I know they say 40 is when it hits, but I definitely felt it at 40. Like everything, like after a sparring session now, everything more and more starting to hurt. So now it's more about the recovery stuff in life, which is so important. So this is why, like, I follow a lot of your stuff and it'll be like, okay, what's Bruce doing? What's kind of stuff? And I mean, the other question I had for you and Jay would have been the creatine.
Yes.
I mean, I know creatine's great and they say 5 grams is great for the body, but they're saying 10. Some people are saying 20 for the brain. You need up to 20 for brain. So I was like, how are we getting 20, just one time? Are you mixing it with water? Should you do it?
You can do it that way, or
3-4 times a day, so you're not doing it all at once.
Shake post-workout, or just for my breakfast with my shake, I put in 10 grams.
Okay.
And then throughout the day, put in another, like you
little
can just
sip
scoop
every
it and
time?
throw it in your fucking mouth.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure. I was doing that. I was like, is it going to affect my gut? Is it going to get me going to the bathroom too much? It's
no. If you buy a shitty brand, but you don't.
I get the best.
You get the best.
Yeah. I definitely know. I tried going 20 right away and I was like, I dialed back. So now I'm at 10 right now.
Yep.
10's been great.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it. I'm going to try doing another little 5 or 10.
Yeah. But
go
from 10 to 15, see how you react to it. There'll be no problem. And then go to 20.
And you're at 20 now?
Yes, I take 20.
And you feel or no, or just
great. Yeah. Other things that you could do for your inflammation, we talked about it, was the ice bath.
Yeah, I do that once in a while.
Yeah. Or even just take a cold shower in the morning.
Yeah, I used to do those too.
Used to?
Yeah, used to. I go through phases.
Yeah.
I can do it every day, and then all of a sudden I'm like, cut back on it sometimes.
See, that's the thing, dude. Like this morning, holy fuck,
you did not want to do it.
I didn't want to do it because I just got back from Cabo, man. I'm in fucking
so
90
hot
degree
and
weather.
Sweaty, yeah.
So, and this morning, it was cold. Like the bath is at, like the ice bath, the water is like just above freezing.
This is outside for you.
Yes. I have it in an enclosed solarium, but the solarium's not heated. Okay. So what I do is in the morning, I'll do my white light because for me, I get affected by the lack of sunlight in the winter.
Yeah, I have one of those devices.
That's what I got.
One of those little 10,000 whatever lux. What do they call them?
Yeah, that's
LUX.
Yeah, it's you have the Verilux, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think sounds like yeah.
That's what I have. I use it
when I'm eating breakfast. I just smash it in my face.
Yes, you have to do it for half an hour.
I do it because of for me, it was circadian rhythm for travel. Because I'm like, I'm going to Holland and come back. I don't want to be jet lagged. So I sometimes I travel because I have a little one.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just travel with it in Holland. So when I wake up right away, I'm jet lagged.
What's the time difference?
6 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
But I usually land and have to work usually the next day. So it's almost like I need to be sharp. So for me, it's like right away. That's why I've been traveling with creatine, because the creatine for the jet lag has been good for me. And then bringing that white light, just blasting my eyes with it in the morning seems to help, But all those little things I've been doing. I know I have a red light too.
Oh yeah.
So I sit and to me, I don't know how much it is. And I know people love it, but I just like it as my meditation time. Just sit.
That's
I
fine.
like to feel the heat.
Yep.
You know, I get naked in front of it and I just sit there and I just,
how long
sometimes
you do it
I
for?
read 20 minutes.
That's
usually.
perfect. Yeah, that's what I do. So I have a red light room. So I have a 6-foot panel in the front, a 6-foot panel in the back, and a 6-foot smaller panel on the side. So I get fucking jammed all which way. And I'm a big believer in red light therapy.
Yeah. I remember we talked about it for hair loss at first.
Yeah.
But then I just feel everything feels better. My skin and my face.
Yeah, the collagen production.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I started doing is I bought a hyperbaric chamber.
Okay.
And I do that every day for an hour. That's game changing.
I'm claustrophobic. They scare me a little bit.
Dude, me too. Me fucking too.
I'm terrified of MRIs, even elevators. I'm like, am I going to be okay in there? Or
yeah, MRIs weirded me out in the beginning, but now that they have the ones because I just had to go for an MRI for my knees, both of them. But they have the ones that are open.
Really?
Yeah. So,
but if it's a brain one, you have to go in though, right? Because I've never gotten one outside of my brain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you go for your knees, they just stick your legs in there.
Okay.
But I'm not a fan of fucking MRIs.
No. It's the worst thing is they're like, I have to like hype myself up before I even go in there. Like even last time I got in there, I hyped myself up and I laid down. And then the worst part is that you have to put like this little cage on your head. So as soon as you put the cage on, I left out the room. I let the next person go, came back in, and then I didn't even talk to the guy. I just walked right. Let's go. And I just put it on him.
And it takes so fucking long. And that noise. Yes.
I was just like, come on. And I'm trying to count. And they're like, just look
That's
at
what
that
I did.
thing. And I'm just counting.
Yes.
Yeah. My trick now is when I get anxious, is like, this is another thing with the concussions. Like I'm getting this anxious, weird, like anxiety in times that I've never used to get it. Like traveling in the plane, like as much as I travel, I still get anxious on the plane sometimes. Yeah. The last one that got me was a speedboat. I was on a speedboat and I went on a trip to Colombia.
Nice.
So I was on the speedboat and it was a 45-minute speedboat. And I was like, I used to love boats and the speed and fast. I'm on water, but the noise of whoa, and then the wind, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, you know? And it's like, I have a deviated septum, which I got to get fixed soon. So I can't breathe well. So I mouth breathe, but when I'm breathing, all the wind was in my face. And I was like, I got so anxious on the boat. I was like, I don't think I can go on a speedboat again. It literally freaked me out. Like for 45 minutes of it, like planes, I have to wear noise canceling earphones.
Yes.
Because an 8-hour flight to Holland, all I'm hearing is then the jet engines will drive me crazy. So I have to put.
So you're sensitive to noise?
It's just, I think the noise and knowing that it's going to be that noise for 8 hours gives me the anxiety. There's no relief from the noise.
Yes.
So that would give me the anxiety. Like if I'm on a 45-minute boat ride where every 10 minutes they stop, at least I know, okay, I get to relax a bit. They go, but 45 minutes straight, I had to like develop mind strategies because the other thing with they called it brain trauma related vertigo I got because I was getting vertigo on planes.
Wow.
So they were like, they did all the vertigo testing and stuff like that. And one of the guys during the vertigo testing was like, the trick is just count backwards from a number. So I start from 100 and I'll count down by threes, you know? So I'm okay, 97, 94, 91.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking in that time.
Right.
Then when I get to one, it's like, okay, now by fours, you know? Then I'm like, okay, 96 and then, 92. So then I count backwards and then that kind of calms me down, cools me out a little bit.
So watching movies doesn't distract you enough?
No, I do now, but noise canceling on, movie on. Then I go.
That's what I do too. Yeah. Just simply because I don't want to hear motherfuckers on the plane.
Talking, but it's the engine noise. If it was the people talking, I'm good. It's the engine noise. Like that buzzing in your ear for 8 hours. Terrifies me.
The CBD, because you and I have talked about this, I can't take THC because that gives me anxiety. I'm unfortunate that I'm extremely sensitive to it. Like I got motherfuckers in here that can take this motherfucker here. He can take THC, no problem.
Yeah.
But the slightest bit, I'm okay up to a point. But when it gets to whatever level it is in my body that doesn't like it, then I get anxiety. So I love CBD. I take it every day. And at night I take CBD and CBN. Yeah. And it has a small, minute amount of THC, but I can't deal with THC. So what do you take?
I like for travel and stuff, I still take melatonin, but I try
Yeah.
not to do it on a regular, but melatonin while I'm traveling, I like to do. The new Perfect Sports magnesium.
That's
I'm
awesome.
always taking that at night. That's my go-to at
Yeah, me
night.
too.
I travel, I bring that full bottle with me every time I travel. So that's my go-to. And then I do like THC at night.
Yeah.
I do.
You're lucky, man. I wish I could take it.
Because to me, it's like the biggest thing, a lot of fighters, it's like, and still like we train so much at the end of the day that our bodies, I'm sore at the end of the day. Like I'm done teaching 3-4 hours. I've trained
That's
in
a
the day.
lot, bro.
You know, sometimes I do my weight training in the day. Then I'm maybe sparring with my classes at night and teaching. I come home and I'm just tired and my brain doesn't shut off. That's
Right.
the big thing. So sometimes the THC just helps me veg out, watch a movie for 30 minutes and
Yep.
then just pass out. So
Right.
to me, I like it a lot. And I don't want to start taking Tylenols and Advils as a form of pain relief.
Right.
Because I've heard stories of guys with all these stomach ulcers and you can be addicted to Advils very easily, you know, popping 2 or 3 before training, 2 or 3 after training. Then you get home, you're like, I can't sleep, man. My back's sore. I hurt my foot. Another 3 there. The next thing you know, you're at, 9 to 12 Advil a day. And then
That
you're
will
doing
fuck your
that every
stomach up.
day. And then as a fighter to take 6 to 8 Advil a day is nothing. 2 before your morning training, 2 before night training.
Really, I didn't know they take
So
it
a
that
lot
much.
I mean, if you need it, like, what are you going to do? You got to train. That it's your job. You got a fight coming up. I mean, back to fight camps. Remember we were talking about that anxiety?
Yeah.
I gave this example. I heard it somewhere. I thought it was great. Was they're like, what makes fighting someone nervous? Is they're like, it's like saying, okay, in 8 weeks, you're going to be driving your car and you're going to get into a crazy accident. You don't know what's going to happen from that accident. You can hit this car and you'll be fine, or you can hit this car and have to go to the hospital after. But in 8 weeks, when you get in this car, you're going to get into an accident. It's like, how bad is the accident going to be? So
Right.
that's where your mind goes. Am I going to be okay at the end of this accident? Like, we're playing chicken, and whoever's going to take the worst of the impact. So that's where a lot, like, there's going to be damage on that day. So it's like that thinking. I
That's a
thought that
very
was a
interesting-
very good example. I thought it
Yes.
was pretty cool.
So you said you only get nervous, say, the day of the fight, not leading up to it?
No, not really.
That's amazing.
Not as much. Because I think also working helped because my brain was busy. As a school teacher, I'm working all day.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm thinking about, I have to work. So I'm not thinking about the fight. And then I would only think about it while I was training. And then on the way home, I had to kind of just not think about it. I mean, sometimes that's probably good. Sometimes it's bad. But I think if you overthink it, that's where your anxiety is going to come from. So you got to keep
Sure.
your mind busy.
Yes.
Keeping your mind busy is key. That's a big one. Because otherwise it's like you can go down some dark places. Like I started and it was so unhealthily where to keep myself hype, I thought you needed to always be amped up. So I would start making up crazy things in my head, being like, he hurt my family. He killed someone I know.
No way.
Like I used to get dark in my head. And the joke I'd always give, I would be like, man, this opponent, I'd get so mad. I'm like, he killed my dog. I'm like, I don't even have a dog, but he killed it, So I'm like, I don't care. You killed my dog. And it just didn't matter. I made up stories in my head and then I was like thinking, then when I watched the Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, he created a lot of these things in his head too, where he'd be like, some of the guys in the mid game, he'd be like, oh, don't worry. And the guy's like, well, what do you mean, don't worry? What did I do? What did I say? And Jordan just created certain things to elevate himself. But in fighting, it's a little unhealthily, but I had to learn to just slowly phase that dark shit out,
But you know what's amazing is that you sharing that thought, that perspective, there's going to be many other people who are going to share that thought and they're going to think, wow, I'm not as fucked up as I thought.
Yeah.
Right? Because Bazooka
Seriously.
Joe did that too. So I'm pretty sure there's other motherfuckers that
Oh,
did
yeah.
that too.
It got
So-
darker. I'm just being nice to some of my dark thoughts,
Right,
Like,
right.
I thought of some crazy shit to get there. Yeah. But whatever gets you there, lying to yourself and then making these crazy scenarios in your head. But yeah, because you have to hurt someone. Like, I don't know if I like this person or don't like them. I have to create something to want to hurt them. Right? You want to damage them. So like, I'm a nice person generally, like, I don't want to, but now it's like, you're taking something from me. You hurt me. And now I got to punish you for it.
See, I don't know if I have that. Whenever I spar or like roll, I go in there to win. I don't need to make up a story about how because if I thought you killed my dog, I'd blow up your house. But I have that like, for example, one of my teachers, all my coaches are like top tier. And they say that when people come in to roll with them, they already have the preconceived idea that they're going to lose. So don't you find that? Like, you have students knowing that there's no fucking chance they're going to hit you. Or,
like that way. Yes. Oh,
right.
Yeah, yes.
So they've already lost the fight.
Yes.
Right. But for me, I don't have that thought. When I go into anybody I fight, I'm like, I'm going to fucking try and beat you.
Oh yeah. I'm that way. I'm your mentality. With
Yes.
for sure.
So when you were about to fight somebody professionally, you had to generate a motivation to actually go in there to try and hurt them?
Early on in my career, as I got through it and more experience, it changed a little bit.
Yes.
And more of like, this world title, I want it more than you.
Dude, the pressure of something.
You know
like
what I
that.
mean? I want this more than you. And there's moments in my fights. I had a few moments in my career where I really remember. One, I went through a bad breakup or early on in my pro career, just when it started. And there was a moment where I was fighting a champion from out west. He was a WBC Muay Thai champion, one weight class ahead of me. And this is before Glory, and I was like the New York champion at that time. So they flew him in to fight me, big fight. And at that point was where I was recovering from the breakup.
Yep.
And I remember just took us literally, I don't even know if it's out there anymore, but I stopped just before I went in the ring for 5 seconds. And I'm like, I'm not going to care about this anymore. And I'm like, what I felt in this last, whatever long 6 months of this break, I'm like, he's going to feel it all right now tonight. And I said, this is it. You know what I mean? And I went into the ring. It was one of my biggest knockouts. I knocked him out with a crazy lunging hook, put him out. First round finish. It was one of my best punch knockouts. And after that, I didn't care about the break. Nothing of that. I was free from all of that. Are you still single? No, I have a girlfriend now.
Finally.
Yeah. No. It's I need kids, man. I'm working on it, but no, I got a good girlfriend now.
Good.
Move in that direction.
Nice.
But, that was the one moment. And then my world title moment, it was literally I took a split second before and I'm like, I will not leave this ring without this belt. And if I don't have this belt, I'm not coming out alive. That's where it was. It was like everything in my life. And that was my last fight ever. But I had to leave my soul into that ring that day. And I talked to myself through camp. Instead of hyping myself up, I'm like, there's nothing in this world and I used to joke with them, like, I'll hit him with the stool over the head if I have to. You know what I mean? I will not leave it. I mean, that world title fight, I ended up one of the best combinations you've ever seen in combat sports. I hit him with like this, doom, 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 and I unfolded a head kick, and he just dropped, and he went right out. Like the Tyson Fury, is it the Wilder? When he gets in, he just pops right back up.
Yes.
That moment there, Mark DeBon hits the canvas. I thought I won the world title. 3rd round knockout, and all of a sudden his head pops up, and then he gets up. And then I tried to finish him in the 3rd round, but in the 4th round, he caught me with a scissor knee, and that's what the big concussion was. I dropped, I popped right up, but I was on skates for a round and a half. But if I didn't tell myself that I would die in that ring, I probably would have not made it through that fight. Because I took a beating in that 5th round, and I had to survive it, like the way I was getting hit. But I beat him up so bad in those first 3 rounds that I ended up winning the fight. But I literally had to leave my everything into that fight.
But again, I think that, and I think that mindset is what you need to do with everything that you do.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, people don't have that. People are so quick to give up at the 3rd round, right?
Yeah.
And I want to inspire people to know that they have to give it their all in anything they do.
Yeah. I mean, my buddy just wrote a book. He's actually a local guy. He'd be great for the podcast. His name's Jason Figliano. He wrote a book, and it's called Black Belts Rules to Life.
Oh, amazing.
So basically, he's kind of taking the mindset of a black belt. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt and a karate black belt. And he puts it on how a black belt thinks and how it can help you in your relationships, how it can help you in work, how it can help you in business, you know? And I think that's everything. I mean, like when you and I, martial artists, we walk into an interview, we don't walk in, we walk in with our shoulders up, our chest high, we shake hands, we're confident people. Like if I went into an interview, like I remember applying for my, the teaching interview to get onto the Toronto District School Board. I'm sitting in an office with a bunch of all these teachers, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, looking at everyone, I'm like, these people aren't like me. I'm like, everybody's sitting there on their looks, reading notes, and they're looking around, they're nervous. I'm just sitting there confidently sitting there, and I just walked in, I shook everyone's hand, and That's it. I ended up getting onto the job. But it's that confidence, I think, in martial arts is the most important thing.
I think every parent should put their kids into martial art. And I think everybody, regardless of your age, go start training. And to me, it's not about sports. Like, sports are great, but it's the martial arts that give you a certain perspective that translates into everything you do in life.
Yeah.
Because 100%, I would not be the person I am if I didn't start training.
Yeah. I mean, look at the business. Look what you've done with it. I bet you your business, you use the mindset of a martial artist.
100%. To me, it's a fight. Any of my competition, like, I'm not friends. This is a fight. And one of us has to lose it, and it's going to be you.
Of course. Yeah. And I mean, I think you're a good example of that. I think it's perfect. I mean, even the way you're growing now internationally, like, it could be easy just to stay here, but no, it's not good enough for you. You need 2 world titles. You need 3 world titles. 1 world title isn't enough for you.
That's right.
That's the mindset.
And the money isn't, this has nothing to do with money anymore. It's just legacy. So on that point, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I think it's been different than how I planned it, but I still think it ended up in the same spot. Like, my main goal in life was to be a world champion of the sport, and getting that. I would have liked to have been a 10 times, defended it for 10 years.
Okay, but you've accomplished shit, dude, that people can only dream of.
Yes. I mean, that's the good side of it. But the best part of it was I knew once I retired from the sport, I wanted to do commentary. So it ended up putting me into the commentary world. And then from there, it ended up getting me into the Hall of Fame. I was the Glory's first inductee to the Hall of Fame. So what else do you want as an athlete to be in your sports Hall of Fame? So getting to the Hall of Fame in a different way and just being so impactful on the sport and being the voice of kickboxing, man, that's like, I try to explain to people, like, oh, what do you do? Is like, I'm basically, in a way, the Joe Rogan of the kickboxing world. I want to be that voice. I want to sell the sport. I like to talk about it. I'm so passionate about it that, to me, that was my dream, to build it. And if you listen to my interviews when I was a 23-year-old kid coming up, I said, my goal is to build the sport in North America. I mean, I'm still trying in every way and aspect. It's not as easy, but that's always been my goal. So to get to the Hall of Fame is good. To be known as the voice of the sport, to be seen on, you watch any kickboxing fight in the last 10 years, it's my voice. I'm talking, it's me interviewing guys. And so it's like, it's put me in a position that I wanted to be in, but just, it happened sooner than I expected. But now it's the next generation, like the Isabellas.
Yes.
Her going to the UFC is my next goal. Her becoming a UFC champion is my goal. Like, getting my guys to where I got to go, and even bigger than where I got to see that would be my final chapter, you know? Like, seeing Izzy walk to the UFC, her winning that belt would just be the, the cherry on top. Once I get my world UFC champion, I'm good. And a lot of it, I know, like, you have that mentality of pushing. For me, it's like, I want to push in the sport, but I also want to find that relaxation part of life, being like, I did everything, and hopefully I'm at a point where I can just relax, get that big farm somewhere, and just kind of have my chickens and my family and just kind of rest.
But are you going to be able to do that?
Probably not.
Yes.
But I mean, that's where my mindset is now, getting these and working hard, and then finally relaxing when it's all over, But I know once I'm there, it's not. I'm going to find something else and keep doing it.
There's always that next mountain to find and climb.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're comfortable in your life, right?
Yeah.
You've achieved many great things. So you have notches on your bedpost that are fucking incredible. But guys like us will always need that next thing.
The next thing. Yeah. Well, my next thing, it sounds, a lot of people don't think this way, but my next world title is having kids.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have kids. And I feel like as a man now who's 40, it's my missing piece in this life, like, to be a man, I need something that's almost like I love more than myself and my sport. And I think kids and seeing me grow with that style is something
amazing.
That's definitely the next path. So getting them going. So I just need to start soon, right? I'm getting up there. But,
dude, I'm 57, motherfucker. You got lots of time.
I know, but you're the inspiration for us, right? The fact that you're still pushing it, still training, still doing your thing. Like, man, you're the capitano.
Thank you,
the
brother.
Be great captain, brother.
Man.
Thank you very
so
much, brother.
For being here.
Thank you, sir.
We out.